p.m. at the board office in Hampton. I'll ask Dr. Quincy Burns, so we sit in front of you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Quincy Burns. And we have with us on the phone two board members, Dana Snyder and Jeremy Wilson. And that makes all of us here tonight, both in person and virtually. No public comment. One signed up to talk, which brings us straight to the administrative part of the meeting. Item 3. Item A is approving the job description for Director of Attendance and Technology, and item B, job description for Director of Curriculum and Assessment Textbook Coordinator. Is there any discussion?
But I'll make that motion.
Okay, before I ask for a second, I just want to say that those job descriptions have been tweaked by Superintendent Barnett and Assistant Superintendent Don Davis, changing some of the job descriptions around, which makes absolute perfect sense to me. So they may vary a little from what they originally were. So we're looking for applicants. So Burns has made the motion. If I get a second. The Story seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the vote is unanimous. Brings us to item 4, personnel. And the only items on personnel are those 2 job postings, the job descriptions we just approved. Take a motion in a second to approve personnel schedule.
I'll make that motion. I'll second it.
Burns and Snyder. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Passes unanimously. Down to item 5, comments and concerns. Just a couple here for me, real short, is I want to remind board members that the self appraisal of your seat on the Board of Education to the School Board Association is due August 15th. I think that's online. You've been sent that information from Jim Brown, School Board Association. So I would urge you to get on and get that completed as soon as possible so you don't forget. And the second thing is, just like we did with the social workers, I'd like to see an item on the agenda every board meeting regarding the Duval/Midway project, whether we have information or not. We've got it in front of us, and it's going to be a pressing issue for us.
I have a meeting with him Thursday afternoon.
With the architect.
Yes.
I have expressed my concern to Mr. Barnett that we need some action on the part of the architectural group, and if we can't comply, we need to maybe start looking around and see what other architectural possibilities there are for us. But we need to get that project going. We're beginning the 3rd year, is that right, the Duval students here?
Yes.
And that's too long. Get it done. So I'd like to have that on the agenda the next time. That's all right with you all. Does anybody else have any concerns?
I would just ask if we could have, not now, but maybe in a month or so, each one of us board members and each of the schools have an updated list of central office people and their jobs, and an updating, I hope, then of all the people who are in the schools, to update our booklet for everybody, so they will know who is in the schools and the new principals, new teachers, or whatever. But certainly all of, maybe even the 1st of October, let that be.
You're going to indicate that he's going to jump right on that.
Thank you.
Sort that out.
Only comment, the Mountain State ESC offers some services I think that we should be interested in. One is a grant writing position that will be shared by maybe 4 or 5 other counties. So we won't have to pay full-time grant writer, but the guy will be a full-time grant writer for us in these other 4 or 5 counties. We can share the expense and basically his full-time job will be looking for grants for us in these other counties. And we
Don't
also,
have anybody on staff that does that. Every
No.
federal programs guy, they write one for the federal program, so.
Right.
Not a grant writer.
exactly. So we need a grant writer. Number 2,
But have they given you, some kind of a estimate on what the?
yes, and I also have a book that explains everything that they do. It's got their annual budget, it's got everything in it, but I'll bring next time for everybody.
Maybe we
And
can.
like Jan, the director here, she said, you let her know and she'd be here to explain.
Have a copy of that,
Right.
maybe for all of us to look through.
Exactly.
When we have her,
Okay, I'll bring that next time.
or maybe we could
Yeah.
have Robin to have somebody help us copy one for each of
I've got
us.
one for each of them. It's already ready. Yeah, and it may be in my car, so, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, matter of fact. But, also, the way that we do investigations, sometimes I don't think they're so impartial as they should be. West Virginia, Mount State ESC has private investigators that we, as a school board, can hire who are neutral, who used to be police officers, detectives, who are retired, that they call in.
Okay, so they're not an employee, they just call them in now to say.
They're full-time employees of theirs.
Possibly they-
We could use their
Yeah,
services.
we could, but we might not have to pay if we're members of Mountain State.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, that's an option that we have, because I know of some, past, and I'm not, pointing out anyone or any particulars, but I know some past things that I just really wasn't happy with, that we were supposed to be investigating, and then, come to find out that they were just not impartial.
These investigators on Mountain State staff,
Yes,
and if we utilize them, then we write a check with them. Now,
I don't know, like she said.
Yeah, maybe we can find out.
We can find out what was expensive and everything, but even at that, I would much rather have an impartial person from out of Lincoln County coming into Lincoln County to investigate something that happened. rather than, So we did it internally, or we did it with, the local, whoever it was in that, this is a microcosm. This is a tiny little county. I mean, you can't bump into anybody that's not related or neighbors with or grew up with or friends with somebody else. And that tends to make us pretty impartial, or, pretty partial and not impartial. And I'd rather have the impartiality. And that includes us too. I don't want to influence an investigation by calling my best friend, who happens to be a sheriff or a policeman or a city council, whatever. I just think we need to take ourselves
That was
out.
more professional, Joe.
I think we need to take ourselves out of the investigation and bring in someone who is more objective. Okay. That was my comment.
David, do you have any comments?
Yes, sir.
Jeremy?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
What's the temperature in San Antonio?
West Virginia looks better on.
I do not. I think we're in good shape.
I just want to add one final thing, is I've driven by that school, high school, 3 times today.
Just to look at the field.
It's coming along nicely. It's getting there. It's not going to be finished, obviously, the field and the track field, but facility will not be finished anytime soon. But we're working on it. And hopefully we'll get the money to finish it all by next year, I hope.
I do have a comment that I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. I actually had Sean Spence and I contacted Brian Vance today. They ran into a situation last year up at Harts when the middle school was practicing up there on the old high school football field. had a student go down with, heat, heat related, and no way to call anybody. They ended up running to a neighbor's house, to make a phone call and get somebody out there. And we contacted Brian today about putting a landline in the concession stand out there. Just so, for safety purposes. And, Brian's gonna get all the information for me, cost and whatnot, and let me know, and I'll have that, I'll put that as an item on the next board agenda.
Well, if not, we can adjourn until Tuesday, July 18th at
Make a
7
motion
p.m.
and
in
we
the central office. I have a motion.
Joey's motion and Jeremy second.
It was a race.
Seconds, and the time is
7:11.
12. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. This meeting is adjourned.
Mr. Snyder, enjoy your camping trip.
Thank God.